Here we go. Hey, everybody. So I'm already failing at not going live, but I just watched Reem rake collectively with us Ash, the rune for Ash, and I was like, I want to broom some runes, so I'm gonna broom it. It's gonna be a rune broom, and I'm actually gonna take inspiration from the samurai spread and what she did for the rune in the animals and tarot. And I'm going to split it into four. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the four that Russell just put on the page. So Russell updated the collective page. I'm actually going to put this, I'm going to copy paste this into the description box of this video really quick. Say check. Oh my gosh, my eyes, my head. It's fine. Check out the collective rune page. Boom. There you go. And the four that he just posted, I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut the deck 4 times, and then I'm going to read for each one. And I'm feeling it as broom. I don't know if it's broom and then flusa and then 12th and then ul, or if it's broom and then flusa and then 12th and then ul. It feels like broom is the beginning and ul is the end. And somewhere in the middle, we learn to be whole. Hey, Eve. We learn to be whole, but also sort of separate. Oh, snap. Where's she at? I have to go through and change. Not change, but. Ooh, I'm failing. Ooh, and honestly. Um, I'm kind of going through it a little bit. Just a little bit. So I wrote them down in my book of madness. Oh, they're backwards. I don't know if it's like this one and then this and then this and then this, because I'm almost seeing it like a rising sun, I guess you could say. Like this is it coming up over the horizon, that's at noon, and then at sunset we get moonrise. But it's feeling like the ool, the owl, somehow integrates this bottom one into these two dots. That's just how it's coming. It's so I don't like these two might be switched, but I feel like I'm starting here, I'm ending there, and then this because like this isn't it's an energy that's similar to this one, but in this one it's like it's still polarized. In this one it feels more integrated. I don't know. Cue the acute headache. So that's just what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do broom and then 12th and then flus. No, I'm gonna. I am gonna do 12th first and then flusa because flusa feels like we got the integration and then we shifted over into ul, and it almost feels like the gear. In that, when I was getting, it's like we learn to. It's like we integrate our light and shadow so well. Let me see if I can draw it really quick. Why not? Add it to the book. Because this is how I was getting it. Also, I hit 100 subscribers. So thank you. That's pretty cool. I feel like I shouldn't not mention that. Oh, gosh. Oof. Forgive this one random line. That one random line, that means we're not perfect. So now I got to do it again over here. Let's see. And I'll do it the other way. Okay. And the reason why I'm brooming these runes is because I'm not going to go all the way into them. It's like if you try to rake your yard with a broom, it's not going to do much. You know what I mean? So this is how I was seeing it, if that makes any sense. It's like we come into this integrated masculine and feminine, light and dark, but there are some spaces that where like only light can exist. So let's call this one Svartalfheimr, because why not? And let's call this one Alfheimr, because again, why not? So like when we're in Svartalfheimr, the land of the dark elves, like light can't exist there. And so what we do is we sort of reshift ourselves. I didn't even finish this arrow. Oh my gosh. You can see how just all over the place I am. It's like our light retreats inside. So we can exist in a space of dark and not sort of cause any disbalance or disruptance. And then like when we get into the Alfheimr, then it's like all of the shadow pours into this pore. And now we can exist in a space of light without our darkness sort of causing any disruption. And I know it probably doesn't make sense, but that's how I got it. Because I don't know, it was what at some point last year I think it was just like there are some spaces that are light, and we're creatures of both light and dark, and so it's like our light has to encase our darkness, or our darkness has to like enshroud our light in order to enter those spaces. And it feels like that's what Ul is able to do. It's able to take this one or this half and like hold it inside so that it can enter those spaces. And I guess in that way, it reminds me of the Wizards of Earthsea, the first book in the Earthsea series that I'm listening to at the recommendation of Russ, and it's amazing. And I remember, like at some point in chapter 2, it was like, "What's the purpose of having power if you're too wise to use it?" And then like we sort of see a character experience something that teaches him to have wisdom and to not just exercise his power for the sake of, hey Zelda, for the sake of pride or hatred or whatever, right? So that's why I'm feeling it this way. That's why Ul is feeling like that's why Ul is like it holds this. It holds that wisdom. Oh my gosh, this is literally Sparrowhawk. Yeah, 12th is first. All right, let me just get into this because it's already been like 10 minutes. Okay. Oh, I'm done. All right. So I'm going to cut this into 4. Well, first let's do a half, right? Because that's easy. And then we'll do this half into half and this half into half. I'm going to go from left to right. The rightmost is going to be Ul. The leftmost is going to be Broom. If it's Ul, then Lu. I'll just do Lu. Lu and Ul. It's the opposite, right? Oh, no. Okay, and then I'll cut these down again. So I guess it's technically 8, but it's 4 and then 2. So starting at Lu, which is the broom. Oh my gosh, it's oh. So the initiate came out first, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. With the devil at the bottom, it feels like this is just it's chained power. Right? So it's like when we're a novice at something, it feels like when we're a novice at something, then we're not meant to have much knowledge or information. Because it's like if we get power before we get wisdom, then that's where catastrophe happens. And so the broom And I guess it's like, an apprentice switch, right? Isn't that one of the first things they did in Harry Potter, like learn to ride brooms or something like that? It's sort of just symbolizing all the things that are held from you for a good reason. I just noticed that the devil in this card is holding up the same sign as the Pope, the Hierophant, in the Holy See. Okay. So now moving over to 12. 12 has the discerning one and the dark horse. So with the discerning one and the dark horse, this is when we're starting to get exposed to some of this information, right? If you look at it, we've gotten a little bit of it. A little bit has been loose. 12, though, it's feeling like a test. It's like we get a little bit of power. This is spirit watching us to see what we do with it. And then when we show a certain amount of wisdom, right, we come into the Flursa, which is a Holer integration. And Flursa is bringing the Scarlet Shield and the Stronghold of the Grail. The Stronghold of the Grail means I get to draw another card from my deck, Yu-Gi-Oh style. And it's the Ten of Wands, which is the burdened one. I love that so far all of the cards in the bottom are happening in the dark. And all the cards at the top, well, most of them are happening in the light. Which again, like with the top being, I'll show you really quick. Can I do this? With the top being light and the bottom being dark, it's reminding me of how, like, before you get to the Flursa, those energies are separate. At the Flursa, they come sort of whole in the middle, right? Oh, it's right here. Okay, let me see if I can remember where these went. So the Stronghold of the Grail is bringing out the burdened one, with the Scarlet Shield being the Queen of Swords. Reem, hey, I'm just brewing some runes for like 10 minutes. Hey, LB, I've been meaning to reach out to you. I was like, well, I think Reem went live. I was like, oh, after Reem goes live. And then I was inspired. I am. Shh, I'm cheating. That's why I'm just brooming. I'm just brooming the runes. But you inspired me. And then I looked at them and I was like, oh, because it kind of tells a story to me. So, really quick, to catch you two up, or to reiterate, because it's here again. So, I'm going to read through these. So Russell updated the collective rune page and posted a series of 4 more runes that culminates in the Ul that he got yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I'm the type of person, I just, I don't know. Yeah. I don't like chaos, but I like bringing order to things in some kind of way. But there is a reverse side of me that likes bringing disorder to things, but the disorderly side of me is like, he's gone. So it's like, it goes from the broom, which I'm calling Lu, to 12, where they're separate. They're integrated at Flursa, and then they come into a higher knowing at Ur. And when I was doing the gear, I was talking about how, like, we go into some we go into some spaces where there can only be dark, and so we have to, like, our darkness enshrouds our light, and we go into some spaces that can only be light, so our light encases our darkness. And it's like, this is how we view, like, yin and yang, right? And so if we go into this, like, darker space, then it's like all of the light here, like, retreats into this pore. And so we can enter those spaces without disrupting the integrity of that space, but also without, like, taking ourself out of proportion, because it's like we still have the same amount of light and dark. And like also like when we enter light spaces or when we enter spaces of pure light, we can pull all of our light. Wait, I did that here. Yeah, when we enter spaces of pure light, we can pull all of our dark into this pore. And so it's like we can be in those spaces of light, maintain our integrity, but not disrupt the external space. Because if there's any darkness on the surface, it's going to cause a reaction. And so the oud is when we get here, when we know how to do this. And like these first three is us learning how to even do this. But anyway, that's where we are. If that makes any sense. If that makes any sense. And then I was like, it's interesting because like for the first two, it's like light on the top, dark on the bottom. And then light on the top, dark on the bottom. I also took inspiration from the 3-cut ream and the samurai swords with the 4 split. So I did a 4 split. Hey, Genuvo. And then it's light on the top, dark on the bottom. So real quick, it's like when we don't know anything, we don't have access to any real knowledge or information. And then slowly, as we get exposed to more knowledge and information, as we get exposed to more power, you could call it, our character is tested. Can we use it with discernment, or does it sort of like take over our being and then we become like, you know, greedy, self-centered, self-serving, whatever. And coming into the Flöße, where we're really establishing that, I'm gonna call it the samurai split. Yes. When we come to the Flöße, right? Because here it's like they're more separate, right? We get a little bit of power, but it's like, do we know how to use it? Do we use it wisely? Are we taking over? Wait, you already did it? And then when we get to this integration point, it's where we learn how to sort of be all things. And that's here, which is where I am currently. So the Queen of Swords is at the top with the Page of Cups and the Ten of Wands at the bottom. Now the pages in this deck are messengers. And so I went looking for the message, and the message is the burdened one. This is interesting because in the live that I deleted, Akenskjöld guarded the treasure. Akenskjöld, guardian of the treasure. This Ten of Wands barrier lied before Akenskjöld. And there was this energy on the other side of someone like trying to, it was the sharpshooter, 8 of Wands, and it was like someone trying to find a weakness, trying to find a gap in this to shoot an arrow through. But, you know, they can't. But they were looking for one. But this is that energy of like, with great power comes great responsibility. So now, because at the 12th, we showed some discernment and some wiseness, wisdom, some discernment and some wisdom in our use of and application of whatever knowing we come into, we're given even more, right? And the pages in this deck lately, to me, they feel like watchers. This is the page that watches you on behalf of the archangel that rules the realm or the suit of cups. And it's because you've been seen to have discernment, you get more. But there's also a lot of responsibility here, which is why the Queen of Swords came up at the top. And the Queen of Swords is actually a dude in this deck. Not that that really matters, but maybe it does. And this feels like the Queen of Swords at the top of 12th. It feels like the space where we sort of learn the different. Wow, call me out. I'm not supposed to, Ariel, but I'm here. Hi. I shouldn't have said that. I appreciate the accountability. I'm just brooming some runes. I'm not doing the full rake. It's like, you know, when you have leaves in your yard. No, you're fine. You're fine. I'll just give you a hard time. It's like when you have leaves in your yard, but you use a broom instead of a rake. It doesn't do the full thing, right? But it might do something. So the Queen of Swords, it's like it's letting us know this is when we're sort of honing. Yeah, it's here, right? Yeah, this is where we're honing this. We're learning how to go from this to this. And this is, I think, honestly, this is a space that, at least it seems that, well, I know like more and more people are coming into, right? It's like, it's interesting to say it that way, but this is the space that we're coming into on more of a collective. Yeah. Hey, Dana. How you doing? And so it's this energy, it's like knowing when to use, because I was thinking about myself, right? Because I was like, I probably sound so weird, but this is how I just like am. And the gear video, when I was like, my shadow can be like loving and compassionate. I feel like for me, my shadow runs the spectrum of cold and my light runs the spectrum of hot. And so my light in shadow can be like searing hot. My light in light can be like warm and inviting. My shadow or my dark in light can be like cool, right? When it's hot outside and it's a cool breeze and you find some shade. But my dark and shadow can be like blisteringly cold. And so like they both run that polarity within me. And so it's not always like where I fall to one end of a polarity and I'm like, oh, that's my dark. I mean, it's my shadow, but it's like, is it my light shadow or is it my dark shadow? Because the shadow is just something that obstructs. And since we live in a universe of light, since we live in a universe of heat, darkness is the absence of light, just like cold is the absence of heat. But in a more like, when we get here to the 12th and we move into the Flursa, that's when we sort of occupy this space of multidimensionality where both light and dark exists. And so the shadow is anything that would obscure one or the other, right? Since we're in this light dominant sort of reality, the shadow is that which obstructs light. If you put something in front of a light, it's going to cast a shadow. But on the other side, if you put something in front of the dark, it's like it's going to cast the light. But the light, like that light shadow, is not the same as the light. Just like a dark shadow isn't the same as the dark. And so with the Queen of Swords, like this is where we're sort of entering that space where we can occupy more of a multidimensionality. And so we have to be aware of both the shadow that is obstructing the light and the shadow that obstructs the dark. And when we get that sort of in mind, that's when we can enter these spaces where, right, because this is where we primarily exist, because, you know, like light is the absence of whatever, right? You can enter these spaces. It's like you can enter a realm of pure light right here and not cast a shadow. Because your shadow, again, it's like it's all fled into this pore. So there's nothing on the surface of you to obstruct the light that is around you. Just like over here, there's nothing on the surface of you to obstruct the dark. And the dark can be like that sort of that void space, right? It's the womb. The light or the dark is what like everything is sort of created out of. So it's like if you can come into this space, it's almost like I called it one time, it came to me like a store, right? When it's dark and it's like, you know, you get to okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Hey D. So it's like a store. And they're like, whatever you get, like in the store, you have 5 minutes, you can get it free, but we're gonna turn off the lights. And if we see a light, all of the lights come on and it's done, right? So the way that we typically exist, it's like, you know, we can go part way into the store, but if we go all the way into the store, eventually, like it's going to meet our light and it's going to trigger. And so since everything is born sort of from the darkness, then it affects what we have the ability to manifest. But in this space, we can be all the way inside of the store. We can take the full time, get everything we need, and then come back out. If that makes any sense. And like, don't ask me how this works in reality because I don't know, but the metaphor came to me at some point. Oh my gosh, 12 people. Hi, everybody. So at the Ul, we have the Hollow Void and the Journeyman. What's interesting with the hollow void and the journeyman is that we have the sun and the moon, and they're both sitting in a space of meditation. Under the sun, like the runes pop up on her face. I know that's the elk rune, the rune of protection. I think that's the needle. Is that needle? No, needle goes the other way. I don't know. And then on this side, it's like this is the one in the dark, right? Because it's the moon in Cancer. This has rulership. Hey, the new moon in Cancer is at some point. But it's like in the space of the dark, we're able to just like bring these things to us because everything comes from the dark. And what the divine sort of offers us is this knowing of how to get there to make it happen in reality, right? So, like, let's say that, for example, you're manifesting $1 million, but you're not necessarily going to get it from a lottery ticket. But what the divine will do is like maybe it'll tell you like what companies to invest in. It'll tell you like where to apply for a certain job. Like it'll give you the route to get there. And it's like cut by cut type of energy. On the other side, actually, I'm going to pull two more. Oof, wow. I pulled two more because I felt it. Because these are the two that are held in this one, right? So it's like this is our dominant energy. These two are our dominant energy, but we also need to be aware of this. And it's the Seven of Swords and Apocalypse. So that makes sense. You're having a great morning. Woke up at 5:55. What? You can see how it works across the three worlds. Okay, thank you. Because I had a dream about like three last night. I had like a war turtle, and I was like trying to evolve it into a Blastoise, but I had to like evolve it in every area in order for it to evolve in that space. It's like it had to be evolved in all realms in order for it to appear as a Blastoise. I was like, okay. I got a Blastoise though, so I didn't have to sit down and think too much about it in the dream at the time. The Eight of Wands in this deck, it's a card of attaining a sort of mastery in this living wand. This person, the journeyman, is in the space of mastering sort of like their seventh craft or whatever. And they're being like, spirit is showing them how to do that. So maybe this could also, because I know, well, it was for me, but it's like when Eve used the mystical shaman oracle when she went live yesterday. Come on, brain. It's that energy of like calling back soul fragments. It's also the energy that was the wind. No, was it? It was the one with the rattle and the ghost dance and stuff like that. Check out Everlong Mystic, the video that she went live. She did a collective. It's that when my brain is going. But this is what we're sort of in the space of mastering, right? It's like we're coming into an awareness with this Queen of Swords, but we're coming into a space of mastery with these two cards. What we need to be aware of, it's almost like the danger of taking shortcuts or the danger of like excessive power, right? Because again, we just had this energy of like with great power comes great responsibility. And we've been observed as that which would be responsible. And again, it's a progression. So we fall wherever we fall as we transit through this series of runes. But this is like, it's that energy. It almost feels like one wrong thought. And it's like this person could trigger the apocalypse. I'm sure it's not that extreme. But thank you, Dana. I try to use some wisdom. But yeah, this is it. I don't. I'm like, this is my little book of madness. Thanks, Reem, for the idea. Hey, Danielle. So yeah, it's this. So that's it. That's the runes that I brewed. I'm gonna go back to. doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I think this will also help me in whatever I'm going through right now because it's a whole, I don't even know. Thank you. Now I'm starting to get the woozies. But somebody was like something about sharing or whatever. So here I am. Here I am sharing. Take it as you will. Always use your discernment. If it don't resonate for you, please don't take it. Right? Also, like if you think it might resonate, like I don't know, maybe set an intention because the divine will confirm and reconfirm. And yeah. So I guess I'll get a final message from these. I mean, if I could just show the cards, I would, but it's like I don't have enough space. Oh, what was that? Who was this? Oh, see. The Holy See and the Ebony Shield were left on the table. The Ebony Shield, I've been feeling lately, it's like the Ebony Shield pops up. No problem. I saw your video. I just happened to search for like Rune Raker one day and I saw it pop up. I was like, oh my gosh, Russ, Geneva Tarot. um, the Ebony Shield lately, it feels like when with that with that 8 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups, like when we're in a space of mastery, or when we're in the space of mastering something, it feels like this energy pops up to like try to tempt us away from continuing down that path. And again, the Holy See, the Hierophant energy in this deck, it's how Hierophant energy sort of permits what we know of the divine and what they restrict us from knowing of the divine. In this deck, it's a call to go beyond the Hierophant to experience the divine for yourself, to hear clairaudience, right? To see the clairs. When you see, hear, feel the divine yourself, that's what this card is doing. And so it's like it's almost an energy of like prosperity gospel. This is when we use like the law of attraction and the law of manifestation to make ourselves richer or to get that person, to get that job, right? It's the low hanging fruit. This is us getting low hanging fruit from the Hierophant. And what it leads to is the corruptor. In this deck, the 7 of Cups, like each cup represents one of the different 7 deadly sins. So in the 7 of Cups, every single cup is the wrong choice. That's why we go to the 8 of Cups and we walk away from all of these. Anyway. Rune says, show your face. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm starting to get lightheaded. Anyway, the last card. That's just brooming these rooms. You know what I mean? I see an ace, so I'll take them. Oh, this is a lot of cards. Okay, well. Okay. Yeah, this is accurate. Bottom of the deck is the moon, the necromancer. In this deck, this is like my guide card. It just popped up. So, yeah, exactly. LB. It's the runic. So 8 cards came out. I took them as 3 and 3 and 2. The first 3, oh, the first 3 is Holy Water, the Ace of Cups, and the Wish Granted. This is a 10 of Cups energy, but it's like this hangman outlaw just like came in and like prevented this from happening. This to me is carrying that energy of This is the Spirit Keepers Tarot, Danielle. It's Benabel Wynn. She has a channel on here on YouTube. It was a limited print. I know she's working on a third edition. I don't know how many are left, but yeah, she made the first edition and it sold out like as soon as I found her. I was like, oh, I want that. Like, cause she's just so, she reminds me of Russell in how like knowledgeable and researched she is. I'm like, she gotta be Capricorn from top to bottom. Just like together, researched, like who, like my idol. Like I wish I could be so put together. Benabel Wynn. I'll type it real quick. I don't know how I found her. It was like because she made a series of Chinese esotericism versus exotericism and the history behind that. That's how I found her. This hanged man is here. See the hanged man, it's coming out. The snake around the leg here, it feels like that feels like temptation. That feels like the Garden of Eden snake. Where it's like we would be coming into enlightenment, we would be coming into awareness. And then at the same time as that's happening, it's like our thoughts kind of sort of go back to the earthly plane and everything that we can now acquire more sort of like seamlessly or effortlessly because of what we know. But it's almost a question of like whether or not we'll be consumed by those desires. Because like it starts, you did? It starts as a little bit, right? And then it's like it's like first I don't know, you manifest a free pizza, and then you manifest pizza and a drink, and then you get a car, and then you get a house, and then it's like it's almost a slippery slope. It's not really, but it almost is. This is sort of the thing that Hierophant energy with that low hanging fruit. It's like that's what it gets you to buy into. But because of that, it's like it keeps us separate from the majority of what spirit has to offer. Like, look how small these 9 cups are. Like, yes, you can grant your earthly wishes with that, but spirit holds like so much more. Now, on this side, it's the politic, the force, and the blind seer. 3 of Wands, strength, and the 2 of Swords. I feel like this is a little bit, this is that self restraint. If you can manifest the pizza, you can manifest inner peace. Amen. That's good. Somebody need to put that somewhere. If you can manifest, a new job, you can manifest your depression away. Okay, let me not go too far because I ain't out here trying to do whatever. But like low key, I used to be depressed AF like all the time. I ain't been depressed in like years anyway. This is the energy of self restraint. This is the energy of not giving into the snake. And it's like because of that, we can see further. It heightens other senses, right? Because again, it was that like the Hierophant is the call to develop that clairaudience, that clairvoyance, that clairsentience. And even without it, like, ow, just cut my lip. Even without it being like a whole clair, it's just like learning to see and hear the divine for yourself. Learning how to recognize when the divine is moving and the ways in which they move so that when you get instructed to move in a certain way, you know that it falls into the flow. And going back to that ash rune, it's like it's going with the wind rather than trying to sail against the wind or paddle. The 3 of Wands is also a card of prophecy in this deck. And the prophecy is fulfilled at the 6 of Wands. Now, the 2 last cards. Too many terrible one-liners not to force them. I like it. The 2 of Cups and Justice. This Justice came out with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords were looking. Those were the eyes of justice. And also, like low key, peep this energy. You see that? Now, I ain't saying they the same person, but hey, I ain't never seen them in the same room at the same time. But this energy, it's like, because I said it was with that Page of Cups and the Ten of Wands. It's like we're being observed for our discernment. We're being observed for our integrity. We're being observed for like all of that. And the more discerning we're sort of observed to be, or the more discernment and integrity we hold, it's like the more these scales balance. And it's like when these scales balance, and like justice is not, she's not looking with her physical eyes. So it goes beyond your actions and it goes beyond your words. It goes beyond what you externalize. It goes beyond what other people can observe. Because these see, like, they see to the heart, they see to the soul, honestly. And it's like when these scales balance, she gives you this sword. The sword is the gift of justice, the Chancellor in this deck. And also notice the Ankh behind her. The Ankh being that which the Empress bestows upon the Emperor. That's why the Emperor is depicted as holding an Ankh a lot of times. He didn't steal it from the Empress. He didn't take it from the Empress. The Empress gave it to him. So not only do we, it's like the knowing comes and then it's like life unfolds in a whole new way. Yeah, I want that Time Master shirt. And it takes us into this Two of Cups. It's interesting because, so in front of Akenskjöld was the Ten of Wands, the guarding the treasure. Behind Akenskjöld was this Two of Cups. Abyssus, Abyssum, and Wokat, the depths of you call to the depths of me. This is us finding, learning, connecting to who we are on a more soul level as we get closer to the all within ourselves. And like we just start to embody more and be more. But again, it's like it's something that we come into, we earn, question mark. And it's funny because last time I saw this card, it was with the Queen of Cups. And I'll pull her out real quick because the Queen of Cups, she's the one that gives me like mean side eye. Oh, look at that! The star is behind the moon, and the Nocturne, and the Magician, and the Hermit, okay, and the Ten of Swords. So we got two majors, the Two of Pentacles, and then two more majors. This is a space of us bringing light and healing to that which we wish were like dormant within us, or that we wish would stay dead. This is that shadow healing, shadow work, shadow integration right here. And after that shadow work, shadow healing, shadow integration, it's like we come into this further knowledge of how to create things. It's like we get to use the tools in a whole new way. It's like ways that you would never think of looking at them. But again, with the initiate and the devil card, it's like some information is withheld from us for good reason. Like you don't give a loaded gun to a toddler or to a group of toddlers or a knife or anything else, and then you say, here, go play, right? In the middle is the Nocturne, which is balancing those two worlds. You could say it's not battling, it's balancing the internal light and shadow, the north node and the south node. Strength, the force, and the demon, the devil. It's us not being so bound by earthly pleasures, but also us not exerting so much force that it disrupts other things. Because knowing the natural balance of things is also important, which is why justice comes out to give this to us. And it reminds me of the Wizards of Earthsea again. It's like, what's the point of having power if you're too wise to use it? That's what this whole journey from Lu to 12 to Flösa to Ul. Anyway, let me get back to trying to find this queen, please. Thank you. I'm trying to go. I don't want to get in trouble. I can't do a whole hour. If I do a whole hour, then I basically did this. But if it's anything less than an hour, it doesn't count, right? I love this. The Queen of Swords came out between this page of cups, or the Queen of Cups came out between the Page of Cups and the Ten of Wands. And again, that's exactly what was on the other side. It was like this. Well, I think it'll be like this on your side, right? And then I'll put Justice here. So it was the Ten of Wands, and then it was Akenskjold guarding the treasure with the Two of Cups and the Queen of Cups behind it. Now, I talked about it before. I built a curriculum of spreads that works through the energies of the majors, and it's intended to help guide us closer to the truth of who we are on a more soul level, because I'm weird like that. And I've lately, whenever I pull cards for someone and I'm in a space that is getting very much so on the proximity of their sacred space, this card will come out and she'll glare at me. She'll give me like mean side eye, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, anything beyond that, anything beyond this point is between you, your team, the God you believe in, and your spiritual journey evolution. I can't take you any further than that. And she came out literally like with this, like guarding this. As you get closer to this well, you face her. And not only does she like sort of look at other people approaching your sacred space, she looks at you approaching your own sacred space, because she's the guardian of that, right? Power and authority of water. Hey, there's the water. The water came out earlier. And this Ten of Wands was on the other side. Is like, it's that gate is there for a reason. That fence is there for a reason. But anyway, when we're found worthy, oops, wrong card. When we're found worthy, we go to our own internal, wells, and we drink from the waters, and we come into further wisdom and stuff like that. So, yeah, so on my channel, I have the build playlist. I need to go back through and find the videos where I built them, because some of them are a little vague, but you can see how like I worked through it, because I literally built it live using cards. I use cards to build a spread to read cards. So that's what I got. This was the final message. Thank you all for being here so much. Thank you all for subscribing, girl. Like, I'm at 100. Wait. I can't believe it. I might still, I don't know. Dude, I was kind of sort of thinking that like I was honestly thinking of doing like a dealer's choice, right? Where I pull a one card general for anybody who wants it. Does anybody want a one card general? If you want one, I'll do one real quick. And it's a general, so like whatever I get is what you get. If you don't want one, it's fine. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll wait until 50 minutes. So that's like a minute. I'll wait a few seconds. Okay. So Ariel said she does. Eve just said do it. Danielle said woohoo. All right. So for Ariel, okay, Ariel, girl. One card, not like 10. I'm actually going to run through these really quick. So with the healer and the nocturne, it feels like there's something within you that feels like a blockage that would keep you from going, okay, Reem. Feels like there's something within you that it almost feels like a blockage, but it feels like one that's self-imposed that keeps you from stepping more fully into something else. But it also feels like at the same time, you're manifesting and creating opportunities. It feels like you're manifesting opportunities for further spiritual development. But it's like as you come more into a certainty of those things, it makes you more aware of what you're self-conscious about. something needs to end in order for you to like take on this new world, right? From the Two of Pentacles to this Ace, it's like something needs to end. And it feels like you're going to be coming. Oh, look, that's Kali. It's Kali in this deck. So it feels like it's something related to a masculine feminine dynamic within yourself. And honestly, I mean, the thing that puts an end to this, it feels like you. It feels like as you rise into power, into your personal power, and as you, it's almost like as you become more direct and decisive, then like that's the thing that undoes the block. Because whatever this blockage is, and I remember you said that one day, you were like, how like there was a space where you were afraid of your own power. And it's like as long as you continue to avoid it, as long as you fear it, then that blockage will exist and persist. And the more you come into, the more aware of like that you'll be. Because as you do more, it's like it's almost like you're intimidated by the things that you now see yourself capable of doing. And I feel like I feel like I'm reading myself low key. It feels like this is a call for you to go further. It feels like this is the aspect of you that's like, or that soul fragment that's waiting to be integrated. But at the same time, something else is here. And then the angel and the stronghold of the flame. I get an extra card because she has a letter. Let's see what's in her letter. For the one letter, you get another letter. Let's see. Okay. And then death. All right. Whew, goodness. It took a while. It took a while. See, this is an energy of like a messenger of a like it's almost this like hearsay, because this card in this deck, it is the Eight of Swords freed, right? You can still see some of the ropes around her. It's the Eight of Swords freed. But it's like to reach that point, there are like these intermediary energies. There's two of them. And it's like you could almost go immediately to the transformation, and you see how like this is one of the rays from the angel, actually. But it's like that light is being blocked. And maybe it's just like you not trusting your own internal guidance. And so you go to someone else, and then you go to someone else. And it's like, I feel like it speaks to the energy of the confirmation that you need to do things sometimes, when it's almost like, you can just listen to yourself and do it and get it done. And it's not that there aren't other people there that are instrumental and that will help you and that you can seek like wise counsel from, but it's also this energy. It's like, if you continue waiting for validation, it's like you waiting for validation and confirmation is putting you in a space of delaying like further integration. Because it's like, instead of integrating or healing or facing in the moment, now you wait for a confirmation that might take a day, and you wait for another confirmation that might take another day, right? Type of energy. And again, like there's nothing wrong with that. And I think honestly, it's a part of, that's how we learn to trust ourselves. We learn to trust ourselves by confirmation, right? Oof. I said one card. That came out with like 10. All right. Hey, Kizzy Cat. Does anyone else want a one card general, reader's choice, or dealer's choice? Eve, you said do it first. You want one? And then Danielle said, woo. They are general questions, Kimber. General questions. I'm not answering specific questions. So if you want a general card, then I can pull you a general card. Okay, I'll do Eve and then Danielle. No problem, Mario. Just like one card, right? Or two. Like I ain't like selfish. Ooh. Who is this? Oh, Eve, you got the Archangel of Healing. With the bottom of the deck being the Memory Keeper. I feel like honestly, what I'm gonna get is what you got. It's free. What? This is for like thanks for being a subscriber. This it's going back to what you pulled for yourself yesterday, and what it's reminding me of, it's like I feel like there are things within yourself that are healing that you may not be fully cognizant of, right? Because you were talking about how your voice is one of your like deepest insecurities, and how since it happened to you at so when you were so young, it's like it's something that's probably created echoes and ripples throughout your entire lifetime. But as you're coming into the space of like you doing your channel, right? Putting your voice out there anyway, it feels like that is sending these healing, echoing ripples like all the way back. And it feels like as that healing echoes back, there are other things that were like entangled in that also find themselves free. And so it almost feels like you may be finding yourself healing things, or you may find yourself healed from things that you weren't even like necessarily intentionally healing, if that makes any sense. And if that's the space that you're in, where's Mimi? Oh, hey, Mimi. Thank you. If that's the space that you're in, I would just say personally, I think sometimes we manifest things to heal. I don't necessarily see that here. But there's also this energy of like there's something within you that because you do use your voice, now it has the space to grow and it has the space to develop. And it may be healing. I can't remember if you said you do Reiki or not. All right, later, Ariel. Thank you for stopping in. Because there's something like studied and scientific about this. It feels like you have like not only healing frequencies, but like also teaching frequencies because of how you've gone about your path. And it honestly, it feels like something is happening or transpiring or will soon that will get you to see like how much you've really healed. And it feels like one of those like just like ugly cry, but for a good reason moments. Yeah, and then under that is the erudite. Hey, Virgo, that's you. Maybe, potentially. That's what I got. Danielle. Ooh, who is this? Okay. Oh, I ain't trying to be here all day. I got 2 minutes. So, Danielle, you're going to be my last one. Sorry. I gotta go. I'll probably do this again next time. Oh, that was quick. Danielle, you have the Hollow Void, the Stronghold of the Zephyrs, and the Gardener. Stronghold of the Zephyrs is this card right here. 2 cards. The Ace of Cups and the Discerning One. It feels like you're in the space of asking for something. Okay, yeah. Right? I love those ugly cries. I'm going in order of the people who asked for a question, Kimber, and I'm only doing general. I'm not answering specific questions. And I'm about to shut it down after this one. This feels like something, either you're seeking something or it's going to be offered to you. And it's going to require beginner's mind. because it feels like when this thing comes in, you're going to be really quick to look at how everything else has played out in the past. This is Saturn and Taurus. So this is a very fixed energy. These are fixed boundaries. But this beginner's mind, like, it's bringing forward this Ace of Cups and this Two of Wands. So it feels like there's this energy. Like when you see it, you'll know. When you get that opportunity, you'll know. You'll be able to tell that this, right? This is Mars and Aries. Like this is prime cardinal energy. This is Saturn and Taurus, which is like prime fixed energy. But you'll see how different this is. You'll feel how different it is. But with this being the Ace of Cups, it does feel like it's going to be a little bit, or it might be a little bit more than what you may feel you have the capability to receive in the moment. But it's that energy of like, if you get the thought, then you can like carry it out. If you're exposed to the thing, you can take it in. And it might require a little bit of healing in the moment. That healing in the moment being, honestly, it's like it requires you to be in the moment and to not be in your head, like thinking about all the different ways that it could go wrong. And it feels like it is brand new though. And with this energy, I don't know how well you handle brand new. Ooh, bottom of the deck is the Empress with the Eight of Wands though. And the Two of Cups. Like this is beautiful energy. But with the Five of Pentacles behind this, yeah, it wouldn't be sent if it wasn't possible. It wouldn't be given to you if you weren't ready for it. Right? And maybe something about this, it's like maybe you do recognize this as something that is for you. It's like you recognize this opportunity as different. But now there's an extra layer because now it's like, well, like, am I ready for it? Like, I know that this is different. This is different than everything I've experienced in the past. But like, am I ready for this? Am I healed enough? Am I different? Like, this is different. Am I different? Am I the same person or a different person? You too, Mimi. It's the beginning of a new journey. And it feels like it's one that has a lot of momentum. It has a lot of momentum. And it feels like there's a lot of reciprocity here. But with the Five of Pentacles being under this and the Nine of Cups behind that, it's almost like, would you be ready to receive that which you've been wishing for and asking for? Because this Five of Pentacles, it feels like sometimes it's like when we're used to a certain thing or when we're used to being treated a certain way and we experience anything better, it's like sometimes we don't know how to receive it. So you're going to be, I feel like you're going to be coming into a period of learning how to receive. So there you go, Danielle. If it resonates, take it. If it don't, leave it. All right. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all so much for the 100 subscribers. Like, never thought I'd be here, girl. Never thought it would be me. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go eat. It's warm. It's hot. I'm not supposed to be on here. Take with this what you will. Where's that page at? Right. Take from this what you will. It's a step in a process, maybe, or not. I don't know. I hope you all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you are acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that wherever your magic, your joy, your peace, abundance, and happiness lies, you have the courage, the strength, and the discernment to follow it. Because I know sometimes getting what you ask for, getting what you wanted, getting what you prayed for can be difficult. Right? Because then it's like a lot of internal stuff that we have to face rather than the external stuff. So I'll catch y'all next time I catch y'all. Hopefully it won't be tomorrow. Bye.